Hello, humans. Welcome to the Harmony and Humanity podcast, where we're all about highlighting the common ground we all share, inspiring conversations that lead to real world harmony and understanding. We're your hosts here. I'm Amethyst Herrick. I'm here with Dr. Lino Martinez. Hi, Lino.
Hello, everyone.
I'm not sure where Jasmine is. We're trying to find out. Hopefully, Jasmine's going to get in here today, but Jasmine Vine, she's our third. We are three transgender humans combining science, spirituality, and lived experience with the purpose of showing that we have so much more in common than what separates us. So, in today's live stream, we're going to try something. Hopefully, this is going to be funny. The idea is to talk about affirming, not affirming. So, those stories of
Yeah.
gender transition and being transgender where you go, yeah, I know that was supposed to be affirming, but I'm not really sure that it quite made it. So, Lino and I, and hopefully Jasmine, will ask each other questions and tell some stories. We'd love it if you dropped stories in the chat here, because if you're joining us live, make this interactive. You have the power to drive the stream in whatever direction you want. And if you're catching this replay, same thing. Drop some comments down there, and I think it's about it. So
Yeah.
let's get into the topic here. I started telling you this story, Lino. Do you want me to finish up this story? You want me to start off here?
Yeah, start off. Tell us the story.
All right. So it was 2 years ago now, because it was here in Colorado. I have to go and get my car, and you live in California, so obviously you have to do this too. But in the U.S., we have to get our cars emission checked because we had bajillions of big huge cars putting smog over all our cities. So 2 years ago, I have to go and get my car emissions checked, and I get there. So it would have been like February of 2023, maybe March, maybe as early as March, but probably February 23. And I had just completed my social transition. So now I'm presenting completely as a woman, full time. So I go in and I get the emissions checked, and the guy calls me over. He's like, so short story is that you pass. There's a bunch of numbers here, and I mean, he says something, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but he says something like, it'd be science, but, maybe you wouldn't get it, And at first I'm like, hey, and then I go, wait, hang on. Like, it's vaguely affirming, right? He's
Sure.
kind of saying, listen, don't worry your pretty little head about it. Like, just go home and prepare the pipe and slippers for your husband for when he gets home, doing
Oh,
whatever important thing he does. Right? It's kind
oh
of how
my
I
goodness.
felt. It's a little bit, but how I felt. I mean, I don't
Right.
even think I was, I don't even know how feminine I looked. Anyway, so it was vaguely affirming and at the same time not affirming, but I just had to go back, right? Because it's every 2 years you have to go and do this.
Right.
So I
Oh.
just went back. And this time I got there was a young lady that I pull up, and immediately she goes, oh my gosh, I love your hair, and look at that. Oh, that's a cute skirt. And oh my gosh, your bag. Is that Kipling bag? Oh, I love Kipling bags. That was completely affirming. Right?
Sure, right?
Of course, we finished up and she did this. She goes, short story is you passed. Do you care about any of this? And I'm like, not really. And she goes, yeah, it's kind of boring. Anyway, Kipling, yeah, I looked it up on Amazon. Look, you can get one here. It's deep purple. Oh, it's great. Or deep plum. Yeah, perfect. So then we bonded over, interesting stuff.
Sure.
But that story petered out. Anyway, that's my first affirming, not affirming story that I've got now. What do you
What's
think?
your what was your very, very first affirming story that you could think of?
Do you mean when I was? Because I mean, I started this pretty young. I could go back to like my teenage years or my 20s.
Sure, whatever pops up.
Oh, dang, really? Okay. Because there was one time. So I lived in Georgia, right? I was going to graduate school in Georgia, and I had gone to Atlanta. I drove this car that was really super cool looking. It was a 1959 Ford, and it looked super cool. Tons of chrome and everything on it. It was black, and at the time I had, waist length dyed black hair and a lot of jewelry and a lot of eyeliner. And I had gone to a party dressed up, and I went to Atlanta. So I'm driving home, and I'm on the Atlanta highway, in case anybody brings up, a B-52 song. I'm driving down, I'm heading down the Atlanta highway, and my car breaks down because it was kind of a piece of crap. And, I don't know how to service the engine very well, so there you go. In that way, maybe the guy at the emissions control wasn't wrong, so I really didn't care. Anyway, my car breaks down. It would have been like 1995. I'm dressed up, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I am so gonna get picked up by somebody and just like left off and, to be covered over by kudzu. And this dude pulls over, and guy pulls over and says, is your car all right? And I go, no, it doesn't seem to work. Okay. And I realize, he comes driving up. I'm bent over looking into the hood. Now, because you do that, right? I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm looking for, right? But I'm just like,
right. You're just looking in there, yeah.
It still looks like 8 spark plugs. I think that thing's the carburetor. Yeah, I don't know. Got a radiator in there too. How about that? It's just like, I'm fine with this. So, but I'm leaning over doing this, and he pulls up, and I realize I'm leaning over, and I've got this rather short, tight velvet miniskirt on. Okay, so I'm like, oh gosh, I'm gonna be killed. I'm gonna be left on the sidelines.
That is scary, though. That is scary.
It was very scary. Anyway, he pulls up, and he's super duper nice to me. Like, really, really nice. Opened the door for me, because he's like, do you need a ride home? And I'm thinking, do I do this? Like, am I going to make it?
Yeah,
I mean, long story short, I made it, because, here I am.
Sure.
But he, like, opened the door to his truck for me and everything. Go ahead. Is your seatbelt on? He was, oh, yeah, my seatbelt's on, thanks, And he gets me to my house, and he's just like, okay, well, take care. If you... hopefully you get your car fixed. And I was like, thanks. And just like ran inside. And I was truly amazed. But but that's what happened.
He really helped you out, and
yes.
You're really blessed that you were safe and that nothing happened, nothing dangerous happened.
Yes, I couldn't believe it. And I don't know if it's just that I passed well enough in 1995 or what, but
could have been, yeah.
I was frightened. I thought, there's no way I'm making it home.
Oh, geez.
Something's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's very scary.
So,
you took a risk, but also there must have been something within you that also kind of felt safe with his energy.
I get, the main thing is that I was probably 10 miles from home, and it was really, really... like really remote. I'm not sure what the word I want to use here is, but I'm like, there's no way I'm making it home. Like, I'm going to have to accept somebody. It's 1995. I don't even know if cell phones existed.
In 95, I think they were just pagers back then, because I remember having a pager back in, actually I never had a pager, but all my friends did back in like 95, 96. Yeah, cell phones came in more closer to like 97. They were big hunky chunk,
big huge brick.
Boot size, brick size cell phone. I remember those. Yeah, from Radio Shack. Yeah.
Right. You're like, how you doing? Hang on a second. I gotta.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my God, I'm tired. No. It's not you, Mom. It is you, Mom. But this phone's like 118 pounds. So anyway, I had no cell phone. There was no chance in hell I was going to end up finding somebody. So. And then actually a friend of mine drove me back out, because it was like, well, we'll call a tow truck or something. Drives me back out there, and then amazingly the car starts. So I don't know. To this day, I have no idea what happened. It was just, car was like, I think I'm going to strand you for about 20 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
And then, then I drove home. And it worked fine after that. So I don't know. Maybe I drove Christine. Like, that's possible too. Just that
Christine?
Yeah, like the Stephen King book.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Maybe I just drove Kristen. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
jeez. Yeah, no, that's
So,
really scary. Yeah, I
well,
remember my very, very first affirming story. I was about, I want to say 14,
oh,
maybe 13, 13,
wow.
14, maybe like 13. And then like I used to steal my brother's clothes in his closet. Like if he wasn't looking, or my parents were at a or having a house party, I'd go and sneak
Sure.
in, wear his stuff, wear a baseball cap. And I think I had a cousin over and stuff. And I grew up kind of like in a desert area, so I told my parents I was going to like CVS to get some crayons, coloring books, I don't know,
Lucky
and they're
Jack.
like, okay, walk safe. I can't even believe they let me walk safe, because you got to like walk down this long, maybe like a half a mile of just like desert road. But they
Sure.
let me and my cousin go. And so I was like, this is my chance to do what I'm quote unquote not supposed to do, So I put on a baseball hat and baggy t-shirt and baggy shorts, and I went with my
Nice.
cousin, acting like a total little boy punk. I was like, let's go to CVS, But I think at the time it wasn't CVS. I think it was called Save On or Thrifty or something like that.
Oh, I
So
remember Save On.
yeah,
I
so
love
let's go to
Save.
Save On, yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember we were walking down there, and I remember there was a lot of, I don't think that kids know what else to do in the desert. There's a bunch of little girls about my age, about 13, hanging out in the coloring book crayon section, magazines, maybe like a group of five, and they
Sure.
kept looking at me and going like hee hee hee, and I was just trying to be all like cool dude over here, like kind of checking them out too on the side, smiling. But yeah, I remember that was affirming to me, because they looked at me the way I was hoping to be looked at. I guess I really didn't know what to expect. All I
Yeah.
knew is that I felt free, dressed that way, and I wanted to go out. And
Right.
so yeah, with little girls going tee hee hee, it made me feel like I was a little boy, that I was playing the front,
Yeah.
playing the
Oh,
game there.
I think that's amazing. That's a great story. That's the earliest that was, you said 13 or 14?
Maybe I was about 13. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, about that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't get that much, or I don't go back that far, but I do want to say, by the way, first, let me say hi to Morgan and to Bobby.
Hi
Um,
Morgan. Hi Bobby. Do they have any Morgan, Bobby? Do you have any questions for us, or anything that you'd like for us to discuss?
yeah, or stories. Let's hear some stories. But um,
Feel free to let us know. We're here to be open books.
you when you were saying that, it triggered a memory for me. Not 13, but when I was an undergraduate, I was in so I was in San Diego, right? And at one point, so I was dressed up and I went out. I used to like to go to music stores, like
Like
musical instrument
Amoeba.
stores.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It's
great.
like Guitar Center or something like that.
Sure. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, well, because I'd show up and I wasn't a slouch on guitar, and I'd walk in and people would be like, "Oh, yeah, the blonde girl's gonna play a guitar. I'm sure that's gonna be great." What do you got? Mary Had a Little Lamb, and then I'd bust out some sort of Clapton sounding blues thing, and they'd be like, "Wait a minute, was that the blonde girl over? Huh,
That's
hate that."
amazing. I didn't know you played guitar, Amethyst. That's fucking amazing.
I do. Yeah,
Way to go.
I got a guitar when I was like 17, and it was
Damn.
so. So here's the story. Because I had gone, I think I went to like because I would just do this occasionally, every couple weeks, every 2 weeks. Morgan, I'm going to get the this question here, but we'll get your question. But so anyway, I went to a music store. I was coming back, and oh, Jasmine has been tripped up by daylight savings time.
Oh, by the time change? Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that is funny. She's still gonna make it?
I don't know. I just saw something come up that says, "Hey, it's not for another 45 minutes, is it?" Oops. I don't know if you can answer that, but
Sure. Go ahead. Continue your
um,
story.
so I'm coming home. All right, and I get out of the car and I'm walking toward my apartment. Now, my apartment, it doesn't matter where, but there were two apartments next to each other. And I go walking up just as my neighbor comes walking out. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Because I'm like, really? Did it have to be? So I come walking up, and she goes, "Oh, hey, you look great, And I'm like, thanks, I gotta go. I'm just going in the just gonna go in the house, right? So I go in the house. Anyway, she says, "Listen, I'm gonna have a party," and I don't know when this was. This was a little some weeks later, and she goes, "I'm gonna have a party. You should come by." And I was like, "Well, at least it's convenient, right? I don't have to drive." There was like
Sure.
10 steps, right?
Right.
It's really well. This is totally convenient. So I show up for this party, and I see a guy that I had known, this Swedish guy actually, and he says to my neighbor, says, because there's probably 20 of us there or something. He goes, you said there was going to be a drag queen here. You said this gorgeous drag queen. Who's the drag? But I had walked in and I said, "Oh, hey Jacob, how are you doing?" And my neighbor was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, do you guys know each other?" And I go, "Yeah, we live together, or we live near each other on campus." And so anyway, here we are. And she was like, "Oh, interesting." So Jacob says, "I thought you said there was going to be a gorgeous drag queen here. What the hell? Where's the drag queen?" And my neighbor glances at me and glances back and goes, "I don't know. Yeah, maybe she's not going to make it or something." And I was like, but like I said, the verbiage was gorgeous drag queen. And I went, I wonder if that was me. Truly, I don't know if it was supposed to be.
Probably was.
Maybe she
Yeah.
knew. Maybe she knew many. Maybe she knew hundreds. And I was just one of hundreds. But there you go. I would have been mortified though if I had shown up and this guy was there.
Oh, I bet.
So I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe it would have been. Maybe it would have been like, yeah, I'm totally gonna lean into this. Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe it would have been
So,
fun.
but I think I would have been. Gosh, when I lived there, 20. I think probably 20. I would say something like that. So, anyway, there's my story.
Thanks for
Just
sharing.
you triggered that memory with the you're hanging out and it save on.
Oh yeah, save on drugs.
Yeah.
So Morgan had a question for us?
Yeah, so here's the question from Morgan. It says, "I have a question." Oh, there you go.
Yes.
How do we not let ourselves be overwhelmed by all the things going on, but still serve our community?
That's an excellent question,
It is.
Morgan.
Why don't you take that, Lino? Because I'm going to get Jasmine
Well,
set up. Go ahead.
you're asking both me and Amethyst to this question, but if I'm asked, well, hello, Jasmine, welcome.
Hello.
Good
Hey,
morning. Yeah,
so
daylight
sorry.
savings time.
Daylight
I had
savings time.
no idea.
So stupid. See, daylight
It
savings
changed last night. Yeah. Welcome,
So I'm
Jasmine.
not actually that late, am I? I'm only like
You're
20
about
minutes.
15
Yeah, 20
minutes,
minutes.
18. Yeah, no big deal. Hey, but we have someone in the
Okay.
room that has an excellent question. Can you
Yeah.
read Morgan's question once again, please?
Yeah, so here we go. It says, "How do we not let ourselves be overwhelmed by all the things going on, but still serve our community?" I think Jasmine's a good one for that. But Lino, you take it first.
Well, I mean, we're coming from three different perspectives, and I'm always coming from, I can't say always, but almost always, most of the time, um, I'm coming from a place of keeping the self-love and keeping your vibrational escrow on a highest peak if you can, by omitting love, by doing things that help elevate your own personal growth. And when you do that, so basically, I've been listening to this incredible audiobook on by Tina Irwin on the frequency and vibration of karma. And so if you stay into your own frequency and vibration of love, you're going to radiate love and you're going to get love back. And the universe doesn't know the difference between good or bad. It only knows vibration. We as humans, we give it an emotion, and our emotion gives it a momentum. And depending on how much attention we give this emotion, that depends on how much momentum will bring back to us. And so if we keep being in the state of worry, and how do we do this? How do we do that? Or how can I support you? As long as you stay in the support of supporting yourself and bringing love to yourself, raising your vibration, you're going to naturally have a ripple effect, and that's going to sprinkle on and drizzle over your community. And they're going to be feeling your vibration and riding that same wave. So that's coming from me, both spiritually and scientifically. The universal laws are laws that are unbreakable. Uh, they're they're absolute, and so do unto others. I mean, you've heard this in the Bible. And we kind of briefly talked about the Bible. As you want to do unto yourself, as you do unto others, you want to do unto you. And whether that is, and then also check out your mental diet. Like, what are the things that you're feeding yourself? So a lot of people discuss, talking about getting on a good diet, eating healthy and stuff, but also who you're hanging out with, the things that you're saying, the people that are in your circle and your group, that's your mental diet. And if you're hanging out with people that are bringing in the negative, oh, look at this, or look at what's on the news now, or look at what, or F them, or F this, that's the vibration you're going to be on. That's the vibration you're going to keep receiving. And that's going to lower your immune system. Then you're going to get sick, and then you're not going to feel good. Then you're going to have nightmares, and your sleep is going to be cut by half. So, I mean, just really look into your verbiage and be an observer of your thoughts, and try to go even in as a bird's eye view. Like, what's going on in my world right now? Why am I attracting so much bad? Why am I feeling why am I everything I'm seeing on social media bad? Remember, everything has an algorithm too, and the algorithm is not going to lie. It's going to show you exactly where your mental state is, and what type of mental diet you're putting out is a mental diet you're going to receive. So if you start clicking on other things like positive things and love and support, you're going to start getting on that algorithm. Then you can start sending that stuff to your loved ones, and that has a domino and a ripple effect. So really check and see what vibration, what channel you're on. Another good way to think of it is like if there's a song that you don't like on a radio station, you change it. You get on a different channel. If there's feelings and emotions that are rising above from you, or you think it's within you, that usually it is, change the channel. And you have the ability to do that simply by changing your thoughts. Yeah.
I think that was
That's
beautiful.
my long-winded answer.
That was a good answer.
Oh, thanks.
I love it.
All right.
Do you want
Does Morgan, do you have any other questions in regards to that? Anything else I can clear up?
and Jasmine, if you want to, while we're waiting on Morgan, do you want to tackle that question, or?
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. I don't know what to add.
I can wait.
I guess the only other thing that's coming to my mind is the overwhelmed by proxy. Like, there's so much that we can do to shift our focus and attention to things that serve us and to things that are helpful to us. Just being aware that not everyone's going to do that. And there are going to be people who are completely overwhelmed and struggling that are going to come to you for help because, Morgan, I know you are a helper and you're someone who loves to be there for people and have a really big heart. So just be conscious that you could take on other people's stuff because of that. And really that's about having those boundaries with yourself and knowing how much you have the capacity for taking on those things and choosing where you want your focus to be. That's really the big thing that's coming to me, is choose where you want your focus to be. Because like Lena was saying, that does have a ripple effect. If your focus is on love and on those high vibration things, then you're going to have a domino effect on others through that. But yeah, it's a difficult one.
It is, and some of the things that you're saying right now, as far as like overwhelm goes, a lot of the times overwhelm, aka burnout, all that stuff, or being overwhelmed and burnout, let's say it does come from a good place. Somebody is constantly putting their energy and putting their best foot forward and putting their heart first. But if you put too much of yourself forward, you're going to deplete your cup. And you start depleting your cup. I mean, how are you going to offer anybody a glass of water if you don't have any water in your cup? So just remember to always fill your cup up first, and it's not selfish. Self-love is the best way for you to put your best foot forward, because if you're not loving yourself, you're not going to really be giving any type of your energy authentically, and people are not going to be as responsive as you would like them to be, because you're not giving your best foot forward. And your best foot forward always comes from having a full heart and having complete rest. And taking care of yourself first and foremost.
Yeah. I really love that. That was a good way to put that. I know you and I both believe, Lena, that, I mean, maybe all three of us, but that we're all connected in the universe. And so it's a good point. I mean, if you are trying to help other people, you do have to help yourself as well. You know, you have to start there. I appreciated that you said it was not selfish, that self love, if we're all connected, is love for everybody. So it's a good point. Not to be confused with, you know, billionaires buying like social media things and going, oh, this is totally just for you, just it's for me but for you, because you know we're all connected, right? That's not quite true, but
Right. Well, you're talking about material things now?
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, if you
Right.
yes, when you're looking only at material things, that's different, you know. But yeah, caring for yourself, yeah, is caring for the universe. So, which is not the same as buying material things, right? So,
I guess.
Hmm.
so do you want me? We got a story here from Bobby, by the way, if you want to hear it, because one of the things I was also gonna say, like, because both Lino and Jasmine jumped in, and I don't have anything, you know, ridiculously important to add to it. Then, like, self love to me is trying to laugh, trying to find the things that are beautiful in my life. And so that's why I try to do those transgender joy things once a week, because if I do, then it means I've found something beautiful in the world. Because there's a lot of ugly right now in the world. I'm trying to laugh about that. I don't know how well it worked, but so in any event, yeah, that's why I try to find things that are beautiful, especially in the transgender community, which I can actually segue right into Bobby's story here. What do you think?
Hmm.
So Bobby says the only really negative contact she's had was at a Costco in Canada. Oh, Costco. There you go. Says when she got to the cash register, a young male cashier was looking at her with his mouth wide and eyes wide, which caught her off guard. She didn't know what to say. So what was worth what was worse though is that the other guy working with him said, "Don't worry, we get all kinds." And that, Bobby says, really hurts. I believe that. I mean, what in the what? That was kind of crummy.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were doing, Jasmine, if you were, since you came in late, I'll tell you. I thought we'd do funny stories of during gender exploration or gender transition,
Oh.
affirming, not affirming. So, trying to do a play on Taylor Swift. I heard some people know about her. You've heard about her, right?
No, who's that?
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
She's blonde. She's red lips.
Nothing.
Do
So
you?
I
Bobby, thanks
mean,
for sharing that
what?
story. I can definitely see how that a story like that
Hmm.
is and Bobby was sharing this story as a part of the affirming not affirming.
Well, presumably the not affirming. Yeah, I mean, when you get people
Right.
who just
Okay.
go, "Wow, you look like a freak and a weirdo," because I've gotten that too. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, that sucks. That's why I try
it
to find
does. It
funny
does suck.
stories. But
I think that transitioning and I mean, one thing, I'm sorry. First off, I'm sorry you had to go through that uncomfortable situation.
yes,
And also, there is no uncomfortable situation that doesn't make you a stronger person.
yeah,
And
that's a good point.
any situation that makes you uncomfortable is an opportunity to go and love yourself more. Anything that makes you feel like you're struggling is always that opportunity and chance to say it's a struggle, but guess what? I still love myself and I'm still going to
Mm,
level up. And no matter what, I see this in myself and I feel this in myself. Even if you don't at that very moment because of anger, you can switch that anger. You can recognize the anger, say, I welcome you, anger, but I'll tell you what, I know me better. I know me better than I know that emotion, anger, because that emotion, anger, isn't who I am. Who I
mm,
am is this person because this is the person I feel. And whatever you feel is the truest to your authenticity, to your own energetic signature. Nobody can take your truth away from you. And so, yeah, it may suck that you went through it, but I guarantee you that at the very end, it's going to make you a much stronger person. And it's actually going to fuel confidence at the very end. I know you may not see it right now, and even going back might trigger something, but all of these opportunities that we have that are an injury to what we look like or what we feel like or even our ego is not part of our highest self. It's actually there to help us to become and to come and coincide with our higher self. Because anytime we feel anything uncomfortable, it's because our higher self knows that's not true. Your higher self is your best self, your best loving light self knows that's not true, and that's why it feels uncomfortable.
Ooh, my goodness. Very cool. One thing I want to say on that, just to almost reiterate, I like to view it as a challenge, personally. When things like that happen, I view it as a challenge for me to love myself more. That motivates me more than like, you know, the opportunity that feels really, like for me personally, it feels not as strong.
Yeah.
No, it's not necessarily disingenuous, but it puts me in a soft kind of mode. I really don't know how to describe it. More like a depressant. Like it's like a calm acceptance sort of thing. Whereas when I view it as a challenge, it motivates me to put my focus and action on things much quicker. So I could view it and go, oh, okay, yeah, that sucks that happened. And then, you know, I'm affirming that. And then I'm going, okay, where's the opportunity for me to, you know, turn this around, reframe this and all of that, which is great. And I also know there's times where I can have that same situation and then go, oh, okay, that's a challenge for me to do this. For instance, I'll give myself challenges of whenever I receive a hate comment, that means I need to go and leave 3 love comments for someone else.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
So like, that's what I mean. Like the challenge like that. If someone says something really horrible to me, I'm like, oh, okay, awesome. That's a challenge for me to go and message someone and leave like really beautiful comments for them. Because it's about counteracting that negativity with what you actually want to put out there. Because if you give it too much attention, it's like watering it. You're growing it more.
Oh yeah,
it grows totally within yourself and it spills out from yourself to other people as well. So yeah, that's
Jasmine. You just made me think of something. So in this, you know, law of karma states, you know, we all have karma, right? No matter what, whether good or bad. So let's hypothetically say that someone mad dogs me for my height or that I'm not man enough or whatever. Everything that you receive is equal to the same energy you've given to someone. And it may not be in this life. It could be in other life. Yeah. And it's coming back to you now. So if everything is constantly boomeranging back to us, which would mean, and I would have to accept, someone's talking shit about me, I must have done it before. And if I've done it before, what can I do now to build better karma? In the law of karma, that would be to do exactly what you did, what you just said, give more love. Okay, well, let's say it's a point system, right? All right, so minus points. Let's say it's a video game, you know? Fine, it came back to me and minus points for me. How can I go back and build some of these points? Well, now I'm going to compliment someone, but I'm going to do it with an intention. And it's not going to be intention just for points. It's going to be an intention and observable attention, something that's coming from my heart. So if you see a woman and you see that she's down the street or woman identified or female identified or whatever you want to say, but the point I'm trying to say is she looks well put together. You know, she spent some time to do her makeup, or you're like, you know, intentionally I can see your hair looks great today. I just want to let you know. And you're doing it from the kindness of your heart. You start to build good karma. So, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, and then it starts coming back to you. So if you start to receive negative comments, yeah, throw it back to the universe by giving 3 more beautiful comments. Do the opposite, and you see how that boomerangs back to you.
Yeah, I love that. You know, also, Jasmine, I see what you're saying too. When you phrase it as challenge as opposed to opportunity, because opportunity, you just go, look, here's an opportunity, and you go, I'm not going to take this opportunity. Thanks. I mean, thanks for the opportunity. But a challenge, like if you phrased it as direct attack, that's even stronger, right? But I get what you're saying. If you phrase it as a challenge, you go, I need to answer this, and you can answer it well.
Mm.
I do, however, notice that none of those 3 nice comments ever come my direction. I'm just saying.
Which comments?
Well, when Jasmine gets a hate comment and she has to make 3 other nice comments, I have noticed they're not coming my way. So I don't know who you're complimenting, but Lino, I don't know if you're getting these. I'm not.
Well, you know what? Ironically, I'm usually complimenting the people who are spreading the hate first and foremost.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah, because they're the ones that need it the most, in my view. If they're putting that out there, that's because that's what they've soaked up. That's what they're feeling. Oh, yeah. So I want to shift that balance a little bit. That's why I always give so much love to people spreading hate.
That's beautiful.
So they get it mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, however, super depleting, right? I mean, that you go, oh, this person just dumped on me, and you go, all right, what nice thing can I find? But it looks like you trimmed your fingernails really well. You know, it's like the best you can come up with because you're just like,
no.
Sure.
Compliment the underlying values.
Oh.
Like, I'm not hearing what they're saying to me or what they're putting up. I'm hearing the underlying thing, and I'm affirming that.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's like what we were talking about with responding to hate comments previously. And I'm like, you're bloody groomer, you're doing blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay. It sounds like you're a really nice person and you care about kids a lot. And that's a great thing.
Wow.
I'll be like, cool. I don't need to affirm what they're saying because what they're saying I know is misguided because, you know, we don't need to argue on that level because it's not productive.
Right.
But I can give that bit of affirmation back in a way that's like, oh, okay, they're not actually just attacking me back. They're actually hearing me and going, like, saying that I'm a nice person for that. Like, and I genuinely believe that. I believe it's misguided actions because they don't understand that, you know, I was a trans kid. Like, you know, they don't understand that though. It's not their experience. So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's the best thing that I can do is either not respond or do that and just throw more love out there. But you're right, like the challenge thing, one other thing to mention on that is just know what motivates you. I know that motivates me, and I will use that to my own advantage. I know the button is there, so I'm going to press it because I know that that's going to help me. This is interesting. This feels like a little bit of a tangent, but when people are struggling to come to terms with being trans and they're struggling to take the step to transition, oftentimes I have found issuing a challenge is what helps the person come to terms with it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm trying to think how to describe this because I know that I've done this with someone in the chat. But basically, how do I describe this? I've literally said to people, set a goal of not transitioning. Set a goal, like a SMART goal. By 2045, when I'm this old, I will have successfully not transitioned and successfully been misgendered in every interaction in my life. And I've successfully lost my hair because I didn't get onto HRT soon enough and blah, blah, blah. Like actually really go there.
Oh, sure.
And what often happens in that scenario is they're like, oh, confronted with the reality of like, that's actually the goal that I'm setting by not taking action is that. Like that's the end result of that goal. And I find that usually it's like the challenge kind of feeling. It's like, oh, hold on. Hell no, I'm not doing that. And then people will start to argue with me why they actually do need to transition sooner.
Right.
So that's the thing that often will happen is they'll be arguing and saying, oh no, I can't because of this, and like, you know, my partner's going to have issues with this, and there's going to be a struggle here, and it's all valid. It's all totally reasonable and valid. But then I'm like, okay, well, tell me exactly why you should give up on it then. And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess like these reasons. I'm like, okay, well, this sounds really inflammatory, but I'm like, give up on it then. Like, just give up on it. Tell yourself that you're not going to do it. Either make the decision that you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And then by the end of that conversation, like, they've convinced me why they need to do it sooner. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, awesome. But that's an example of knowing yourself and knowing what that button is and pressing it for your own benefit. It's like playing mind judo with yourself. That's all I'm doing when I issue myself a challenge like that, is I'm going, I know that that's going to motivate me more than anything else. And so I'm going to do that. And if it is that more like quiet, subtle affirmation, it's not the challenge energy, then take advantage of that for yourself as well. Like, do whatever you know works for you.
Yeah.
There's a comment here that we got from Bobby, by the way, that says,
all right.
After that encounter, that kind of crummy encounter, says she went directly to the takeout counter and got a chocolate sundae. That's affirmation to me, Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ice cream? Hell yeah. I don't know if there's much that ice cream doesn't solve, personally. That's me.
Oh, gosh. I was at a talk where someone did a whole talk on ice cream the other night. I'm like, oh.
For how long? Like an hour?
Oh, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. They were like miniature things.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, this person keeps making me hungry talking about all the different foods.
Right. Jasmine, can you, and Lino, you too, can you both follow up? Because I didn't really say anything other than go and make something funny or watch something funny. But Zoe brought up, so if you get like these negative comments, Zoe brought up she just blocks and moves on. Like, is blocking and moving on, is that the, what do you think about that?
I think that's fine. I mean, I just recently got a comment on TikTok from a video I posted like 8 months ago of me singing a song in Spanish.
Nice.
And this guy in Spanish says something like, I don't remember the words verbatim, but maybe you should know the song. Maybe you should know the lyrics. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I didn't mess up. I'm pretty sure I knew all the whole lyrics. I'm pretty sure I sang the song through. And at first I almost said, I don't know, something sarcastic. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. And I didn't say anything. I don't understand what the comment means. I don't know, other than if you've got nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing, you know? So I'm just like, well, I don't even know what this means, but this is something I posted months ago, and I'm pretty sure I didn't mess up the song. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous that someone has to put in some type of insult, something insultive, you know? How about you try singing the song, buddy? You know, you know what I mean?
But really, a video.
Okay, I just let it go. I'm like, I don't have to comment, whatever.
Yeah.
I can make a guess with at least 80% accuracy that the person had no profile picture and had posted nothing.
Yeah, there was no profile picture.
There you go. That kind of thing.
Well, what do you think?
You do
that,
it,
Jasmine?
Put yourself out there.
Do you what do you believe? Do you believe that just blocking and moving on? Can you do that, or is that?
Absolutely. There's only so much that you can handle. And what I mean by that is when the scale increases, think about, we spoke about some random blonde woman, Shayla Swift or...
Oh, yeah. Shayla something, I don't know. Sorry, not sorry
Shayla
about
Swift?
that, not knowing who you are, but...
Oh my gosh. No hate to Taylor. We love Taylor. Whatever. But, you know, Taylor Swift, imagine how many hate comments she would get on a daily basis.
Bajillions, right?
Oh, yeah.
is it reasonable for her to look at every one of those comments? Is it reasonable for her to respond to every one of them?
Yeah.
So when you look at it on like a different scale like that, you realize actually it's not reasonable for me to be spending all my time on this. If she did, she would need to hire like 100 people to all be reviewing hate comments at the same time and create some sort of freaking interconnected brain thing to. It's more than she would ever be able to handle. In that scenario, ignore or block and move on is the only thing you can actually do. In fact, she probably wouldn't even be able to block all of the people. It would be a full-time job blocking everyone who's left a hate comment.
Right.
Like, that is insane. So if that's the case on that scale, think about it the same way on the personal scale that you have.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Because it is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just reduced, what's the word? Like, reduced amount, basically.
Scale, yeah.
And guess what? I have tried to respond the same way when scale has increased for me with hate comments. There's been times where, like, I might get one hate comment every couple of weeks or something. And when I get it, I'm like, and I put undue attention on it and I'll respond to this person. I'll have this back and forth and yada, yada. And then there'll also be times where I'll wake up with 300 hate comments. I'm like, like, I can't really do that with all of those people. I'm going to be spending my whole week doing that. Right. That's not reasonable.
No.
So, yeah.
Possibly one of the greatest kindnesses, at the very least, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram did for me. I guess those two at the very least, TikTok and YouTube. One of the greatest kindnesses is that as I started getting more volume, they stopped giving me notifications. It's like, I used to get a notification on every like, right? And so now I've got 300 videos on TikTok, and there's about 200-300 likes a day, and 50 comments a day, and it's like, I don't think, because my phone would run out of battery. So that's a kindness at the very least.
From it a little bit more.
Yeah. So that's a kindness that at the very least, because like Taylor Swift, my point there was to say that Taylor Swift, imagine, I've got nothing. Taylor Swift has got 48, whatever. It's like 8 billion plus. There are people with multiple accounts following Taylor Swift because I guess she got it for all the hate comments. Imagine if she got 8 billion notifications a day, right? It wouldn't work. So,
but it actually happens. That actually happens. So for your own sanity, you need to look at how you're responding to that internally or externally. If you're Taylor Swift, maybe you'll write a song about it.
Yes.
Respond in that.
How do you process that? Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Hey,
people do it with videos, people do it with poetry, people do it with writing, with any sort of creative expression. Yeah.
Can I throw a question out here? Because as we've been sitting here, I don't know if it was this person, but I got an email. Speaking of not getting notifications, I do still get emails from YouTube that says, hey, somebody responded to their crummy comment. So I'm like, oh, great. I'm so glad that I... Anyway, somebody had left me a comment yesterday, recently, that said, straight, how did it go? Straight is not equal to queer, I think is how they put it. And then said, LG and B, like that's fine, because that's how you're born. But T and Q is like a hobby. And this is hurting children and hurting people, and they end up with a lifetime of misery and, oh gosh, I don't know, all the standard BS. But I think I want to focus on T and Q, as the person said, is just a hobby. It's not who you're born as. It's just a hobby. There you go. I'm done. What do you guys think? Oh, I have to call on you?
I'm like, does that even require any sort of response? I'm not
I know, right?
I'm not convinced.
Seems like a complete waste of energy to respond to this
Oh,
comment.
damn. Because I was
Well,
one I
we know
responded
it's
to.
not. We know
What's
it's
that?
not. And I'm pretty sure everyone watching right now is like, huh?
Right. It was I
Yeah.
guess it was, because this person made many comments about the efficacy of gender affirming care, how many people detransition, how every transgender person has a life of misery, and just mothers lose their sons, and dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria kind of thing. And I responded and just said, every statement you've made is wrong. And I hope someday you're going to start to listen to people who have lived the experience, like me, as opposed to politicians who are trying to control people and get your vote. Because you're certainly not getting the facts right.
So you respond. That's how you responded to this person.
It was pretty close to that, Jan. That was about.
And did they respond back?
It looks like they may have. I don't know. I kind of don't want to go and check my email and see what this person said. But if you want,
Well, let's do it. We're live. Let's check it out.
All right, give me 1 sec. Let's see if I can. Let me get to it.
Yeah.
All right, hang on.
Live reporting from the ground.
Right? All right, let me see what
Live
happens.
coverage.
Oh, I hope this isn't going to be ugly. Let's see what the person says. The funny thing, it'll be great if actually this is somebody who was like, hey, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the really nice comment. You laughed. And it's, nope. Here we go. Look at this. I don't even know. Here we go. This is what it says. I'm actually looking at the comment, okay? So I'm looking at this comment.
Yeah.
And the person says, Amethyst to Herrick, you deleted my comment, which proves my point. Your hobby, us harming others or hers, and you degaff. I'm reading verbatim. I don't really know what that was, okay? Oh, hang on. You DGAF, I think I've got don't give a flying fig to rolling donut. But that's so I'm looking at the comment. You deleted my comment, did I? Because there are so many people, everybody on YouTube can call this can call that out. But anyway, there's the comment. So apparently I proved this person's point by having an audience that goes, this was a useless comment. Let's just attack the comment and report this person for being a jerk. So I always take heat for that. You deleted my comment. I'm like, God, there's a billion people on YouTube. Literally a billion people on YouTube. 2 billion. I think there's 2 billion. I'm pretty confident there's at least one person who's going to be offended by what you said, even if I'm not. So anyway.
How do you feel right now after reading that?
Honestly, I get that. I've gotten that a lot when people, because they're usually, how do I want to put this? It seems a lot of the audience that I have, especially on YouTube, but on TikTok as well, is really fast at reporting people who say things like, who say things like that in general, who come up with claims, supposedly scientific claims or medical claims, and it seems like most of the people who follow what I'm doing are pretty well informed. And so your question was, how do I feel there? Since I was not the one who deleted the person's comment, and it's pretty clear that I DGAF, now I changed it to do, not don't. But since it's pretty clear I do this because I'm making these videos, like I can read that and go, yeah, okay. I mean, live it up. Like I'm going to respond to the guy and say, well, I didn't delete your comment. There's a lot of people who did. Somehow you were able to respond to me. So, you tell me what that means. Anyway, maybe I won't respond to the guy. This is somebody who has pretty consistently left me shitty comments and then accuses me of deleting them.
Amethyst, in that situation, just block. If they consistently come back to videos.
Can you block on YouTube? I don't even know if it's on YouTube, right? You can block on YouTube?
And
can you just block them?
I could. Here's the thing. Since I didn't answer this question, I try to use blocking very, very judiciously. I try really hard not to block people because I'm maybe, so call me overly optimistic, call me just a dingbat. I don't really care. I don't like blocking people because what if at some point they end up like coming back to me and going, all right, you know what? I left you a mean comment, but you've changed my mind. In fact, you changed my life. In fact, you changed my life, the rest of my family's life. And believe it or not, all of the future generations of my entire family for the rest of humanity's existence. It hasn't happened yet, but maybe it will.
Well, maybe that'll happen once you actually put a boundary to people that are talking, leaving that bad energy there.
Yeah.
How are you going to welcome good energy if you're also welcoming the bad?
It's not welcoming the bad. I have gotten caustic before. If I need to be caustic, I'll just go, you are out of line. I will not allow you to treat me like that. And if you intend to have a conversation, reel it in. And I've had some people go, oh, dang, sorry. Okay, I guess I didn't realize I was being remarkably abusive by calling you a child molesting groomer.
So that I understand you, Amethyst, oh my goodness. So that I understand this correctly, the reason why you won't block this person who's giving you forward negative energy, giving you actually it's their energy, their negativity is what they're giving you. They're like, here's my negativity, here it is for you.
Yes.
And the reason why you're not blocking them is for the potentiality that you might change somebody's negative cognitions and one day have some type of expansion and say Amethyst Herrick actually did the opposite. And so you want them to come back to you and you want to give that space open so that they reach out to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The both of you right now are going, yeah, dingbat.
Well, no, I mean, whatever feels right to you. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not here to judge. I'm just trying to understand what you said.
I want to make a joke.
What? You want to what?
I want to make a joke. Amethyst, you're not a dingbat. You're an overly optimistic dingbat. No, I'm just kidding.
And that's totally fine too.
I want to offer a mindset shift here because I'm not judging what you're saying, Amethyst, just to be clear there. I actually somewhat agree. It really depends on how you decide to use your energy in that scenario. Because I've had people that have come to every video and ultimately at some point I feel like they have gone, why am I doing this? Why am I following this person's content like they're my favorite content creator and I'm going to every one of their videos and reacting and commenting? And that's how they're choosing to focus their energy, their own inner algorithm. That's what they're focusing it on. Even with things like that, the mindset shift that has helped me the most is looking at it as two sides of the same coin. The hate cannot exist without the love. The love cannot exist without the hate. Whenever, it's almost like the challenge thing again. If I wake up with 300 hate comments one morning, I don't immediately look at that and feel defeated by it. I don't go, oh my God, all these hate comments. Oh my gosh, there's so much crap today. I actually look at it and go, two sides of the same coin. That must mean there's a lot of love present right now too. Where is that? And then I'll look for that. So I use it as a trigger for me to, I'll literally say, show me the other side. I say that to myself all the time. Show me the other side.
I love that.
I'm feeling really shit. Show me the other side, because your brain is like a heat-seeking missile. You tell it what is important to you and it will find that and it'll chase it down like a bloody bloodhound.
Yeah.
Like a bloody bloodhound. You know what I mean? It's too Australian. It'll chase it down like a bloodhound. And so if you ask your brain to undertake a task for you, which is, hey, look at all these things that make me feel inadequate and that, people think I'm a bloody pedophile, yada, yada, yada. then your brain is going to go, oh, okay, those are the things you want to see. And it will seek those things out and show you more of it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, agreed.
That's
Agreed.
literally just how our algorithm works up here.
Yep.
So if you instead go show me the other side of that, then you're instructing your brain to go, where's the love? And then it will do the same thing. It'll seek that out too. And you'll find it.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, I'm looking, by the way, if you care, hidden users, I'm looking at people I have blocked. Oh, God, I remember this one person. God, she was horrid. Really, truly, just awful. But I've got, I'm probably looking at 30 to 40, 30, 40. Ooh, one of them is called Die Hard Trump Supporter. That's probably pretty quick. Yeah, it's probably pretty fast. So anyway, and it's sad too, because I'm actually looking at real names here too that I could read. And, if at some point somebody knew this, would be like, wait, Mom, why did you leave a mean comment for Amethysta? But I'm looking at probably 30 or 40. And it took me forever, first of all, to find this bit, where the hell this was on YouTube. But I don't know. Some of me just goes, well, I don't know. Maybe someday I'll make enough of a difference that somebody's going to go, hey, you changed my mind. Okay, you wore me down. You wore me down.
You might.
I don't know.
You might, but you know where that comes from, though, is shifting your focus. You're not going to have that effect on someone if every time they comment you say, you're a horrible person, go read a bloody dictionary because your grammar's shit and blah. Like if you insult them.
I know, and I don't.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that you do.
Sorry.
I'm not saying that you do.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that if that's the response, that person is going to double down on it. Whereas if you continue showing up and you even show that person love and you go, what's the opposite of this? If they're saying, oh, you're bloody blah, 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 like standard things, whatever, you could respond to that comment with a video and say, hey, I hear where you're coming from. There is a lot of misinformation out there, and I understand why, someone would have this view. And here's my experience. I'm just going to share, blah, blah, blah. Wish you all the best. After a while, you can no longer just keep throwing hate at that because they start to go, oh, am I the bad guy?
Yeah.
Am I being the dickhead here?
Yeah.
Am I the asshole?
And then eventually
end up on Reddit.
That could eventually happen, Amethysta, where they go, oh, actually, this isn't how I want to be. And this person's actually shown me a lot of kindness and they haven't reacted badly or insulted me.
Right.
It's not your responsibility to do that. You shouldn't have to. And that's the distinction I want to make. You don't have to do that. But if you do, the chance that you will have a positive impact on that person's worldview over time is greater.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Because I've had people who have given me mean comments and then I'll turn it back around. I mean, I have one who's like almost a friend of mine now. I can't remember who the hell it was, but I've had one or two that were like, you're a complete idiot. And I would go, tell me why you think I'm a complete idiot. And they go, okay, so not complete idiot, but overly optimistic dingbat anyway. But, and then I've turned it into something where they go, okay, hang on. I'll listen to you because you're not just, dumping on me. You're not giving me the hate back. But, we just hit an hour here. Can I read one last comment here from Zoe?
Yeah.
And then can we end on that? Because what Zoe says is she's thought of trying to make content online before, but handling large amounts of comments like that is something I feel I'd struggle with. And here's what I want to say, and then Lino and Jasmine, follow up if you choose. But what I wanted to say to that was, I don't know exactly what the ratio is. I'd say I get 10% hateful comments. Now, Jasmine, I don't know if 300 hate comments is frequent or what, but I'd say 1 out of 10 that I get is hateful. That means 9 out of 10 are loving. 9 out of 10 people go, damn, I'm so happy you're showing up here. 9 out of 10 say something similar to what you're saying. It's impressive when somebody can stand that 1 out of 10. And I will just tell you, the only way I've now made it through, what, 2.5 years? 2.5 years of doing this is because there are other people who hold me up. Morgan has been one of those people. Jasmine has been one of those people. Lino has been one of those people. Because otherwise I would have stopped. Yeah, you can't go 100% hate comments and continue doing this. So just think of it that way, Zoe. 9 out of 10, maybe the ratio is a little lower. 8 out of 10, who knows? But significantly more love for what I have to say than hate. So take that for what you will.
Yeah. Just to clarify, when there's that many comments, usually it's because someone's posted my video in like a hate group and they've all just flocked in.
Yeah.
But in saying that as well, 9 out of 10, our brains have a negativity bias. We focus on the thing that is going to ensure our survival and our safety the most, which generally we need to focus on the perceived problem because that has the potential to threaten our safety more than someone saying, you look great today or whatever. Like there's no threat there. So it's natural that we focus on that. And it takes conscious effort to switch it around and to say, show me the other side of it. Focus on the other aspects. So just understanding that that's how your brain is going to try to protect you and work with it, not against it.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think, Lino?
Closing more arguments? I wanted to say.
Well, I really think it depends also on the type of content you're putting out. Like, I honestly don't get many hate comments. I've been doing this for, I've been on the socials for maybe 4 or 5 years, and maybe 5 years, hate comments. But I'm not posting stuff that's controversial. I'm posting videos from the podcast, spirituality. Most of the stuff that I post is on raising your vibration or self-love. I haven't, and I think I'm glad I haven't. I don't know what else to say other than it really depends on the type of comments the type of information that you're gonna put out there. I'm sure that if I had a podcast just about being transgender and I was talking about transgender and being a trans man every single day, 24/7, I'm going to get some kind of comments, and it's going to start to attract some other types of people. You know, I mean, when you're putting that much of the same type of information, maybe. But I mean, because even on my podcast, it's not even the same topic all the time. There's different personal growth stories. So I think that it really depends on what you're going to put out there. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, I share my story a lot about how I survived a rare genetic disease, and luckily I haven't had anyone say you were better off dead, or I haven't heard anything like that. If anything, I share. And also it also depends on intentions. Put some good intentions, meditate and pray before. My purpose of doing this is to share love and to ground myself and to bring in positivity. And do everything really from a heart space. And if you really can get into that heart space, I promise you will get more love back. And if you are getting 300 negative comments, do what Jasmine said. That's your opportunity. That's your challenge to really turn that around into something more loving. And then, hey, well, where's the love? Show me the love, because on the other side of this is love. On the other side of black is white. Actually, on this side of black is a colorful rainbow. So let's see what other colors there are out there. So, I mean, the thing that I can say is don't let your fears control you, because your fears are not rational, they're irrational. And your fears don't come from your highest self. Your highest self will never push you into anything that's going to scare you. It knows you, it loves you, and knows the best of you. And if you have a piece of motivation to do something and put something out, that's coming from your highest loving self. If there's a message you want out there, you want a message you want to put out there, that means that somebody needs to listen to that one message, even if it's one person. So don't be afraid of your truth, because if you are afraid of your truth, the rest of your body is going to be afraid of your truth. And then that actually starts to create disharmony. So create harmony within your body and your cells by being truth and speaking your voice. If you have a voice, there's the people that are deaf that don't have a voice, and they're still putting their non-silent voice out there through sign language. So say what you got to say with your own energy, feel into it, and don't be afraid. Don't let fear control your life, because fear isn't your life. Fear doesn't define you. There's no fear in your middle name. You're not baptized with it, and it's not in your birth certificate. So you've got the ability to raise your vibration and give yourself the love by really just being truthful to your energy and facing your fears too, because fear, it really is just, it's not, it doesn't define you, and it never will.
I think that was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I got a quick follow-up on it. What's that?
And then Morgan agrees. She's put in,
Yes.
wow, truth.
I got a quick follow-up
coming in.
on this. Because I wasn't sure how I was going to respond when I got like a true like death threat. And I've gotten 2 or 3. I don't remember exactly, but 2 or 3. And it's been more recent, and it's always on YouTube, and it's always from YouTube. And it's always like a profile with no picture, and it's like user 6297 or something like that. And okay, well. But when I got that first one, and so 2 and 3 were easier, but when I got that first one, I looked at it and I went, I would be better off dead. I know for a fact in my heart that's untrue. Not for me, not for that person, not for the universe, and it did not touch me whatsoever. And I was really surprised by that, for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad that, that was probably your higher self testing you to see how much you love yourself. Anything is a test really from my higher selves. We're here in Earth School. Earth School is the hardest school to be in, and that everything is to love ourselves and to keep raising the vibration, giving everyone equal amount of love, unconditional love.
Yeah.
And so actually one thing that would be beautiful to practice if someone were to say something that you're better off dead is actually give them compassion from your heart. For someone to be saying something like that, imagine where they're at in their life, to be able to even see something like that, where their energy is. I wish this person compassion, and that they can see themselves a little bit more in the light of their divine love that they really are. Yeah. And let it go.
Yeah. It's pretty much what I did. Because I even think, I'm that person is not better off with me gone. So that was what I thought. So do you have a poem you want to knock out, Lena?
I didn't have one in mind right now, but I didn't get to write one today. I apologize.
No, that's fine. We can just cut it short here. Jasmine, do you have any closing arguments before I read the outro?
I don't think so. I'm just writing down some key
I guess
takeaways.
the last thing I can say is just this is all based on my recent post that I posted on TikTok and on the Instagram. Just a quick little reel, just letting people know that it's reminding people of the law of karma and that we are energetic beings, and no matter what you say, if you wish bad upon someone, or if someone talks bad about you, you're going to receive it. And if you talk bad, it's an equal give and take. So if you talk bad about someone's going to talk bad about you, and sometimes even tenfold after that. And then love, if you start to speak more of love and come from a place of love, then you'll get that, and plus 20, 30, 40 fold, or however that is. Maybe a stranger will open the door for you when you're having a bad day, and that's your glimpse of love. So, whatever it is, anything is really an opportunity to, just imagine. And yeah, we want to talk about challenges. Challenge yourself to ask yourself, what if something positive only positive things can come out of every day? And what if bad days, there's no such thing as bad days, but there's only bad moments in a day. And that means that there's no such thing as a full bad day, because there's only a bad moment in the day, which means that there's all these other beautiful moments within that day of moments. And so anything that's happening to you in your life can be turned into something positive. And how can such a negative, horrible feeling be turned into something positive? Feel into it and take a nap if you're feeling drained from it, because I guarantee you when you wake up, it'll be in a different state of mind.
I love that. Then let me read the outro here. Let's nothing more. So we could talk about all of this for hours. You can see we're already in danger of doing it. But let's go ahead and end it here. If you have any requests for future topics, please leave a comment below. If we end up using it, we might use it in the future, and then we'll give you a shout out for the idea, which is always cool. Not that we don't talk about each of you enough as it is, but thank you so much for joining in on this conversation. We think you're all pretty cool for wanting to focus on our shared humanity. So we're sending you loads of love, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Bye, Lino.
Loads of love. That's right.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Raven and Zoe and Morgan and Jasmine, who's posting there, and Bobby. I'm trying to make sure I get everybody. I think I got you all. Bye.
Bye.